everything. Let's go, baby. We are so back live from the Toyota Lounge on the downtown Denver, corner of Colfax and York, right above the DNVR bar. It's the DNVR Rapids pod brought to you by Toyota in the Toyota Lounge.
Or the Colorado Buff Pits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're horned up for some Rapids coverage. So we had
we're really horned up and wet over here for some Rapids.
Super producer Dion had a little teaser, a little DNVR buffs for you there. But I'm so hyped to be back, boys. I am so hyped.
Let's go, Pids.
I can't tell.
I know. I know. You can't tell. I'm trying to not do the double coffees in the morning to bring the excitement. So we're just going to have to go natural, you know? So yeah, we are doing the damn thing. Shout out to all the sickos in the Toyota chat, the sickos, the diehards. We do this for you. It is indeed Rapids over everything for us. We are all neglecting our normal day-to-day duties to do this, and God, do I love it. We might just go long and go 2 hours.
Let's do it.
Screw the Broncos.
Let's
show.
go 5 hours. Let's do the whole day.
Non-stop.
Let's
I'm
go.
all about
I'm dipping
it.
at minute 30. I'm telling
Yeah,
you to time it out.
No, I mean, Dion would literally just end the stream. He also has work to do. But I am so hyped to be back, baby. And so hyped to be with these fine gentlemen in 2026. What a time to be alive. It is upon us. The year of the World Cup. The North American World Cup. Valar watching over us and giving us nothing but blessings left and right. Of course, joined by, no longer super producer Yahir. Super
person Yahir.
Analyst Yahir. The man, the myth, the legend, Yahir Vazquez.
Woo.
Yeah, bringing the opposite
really tell
of the energy.
Yeah, coming in with that morning energy.
You
man.
here came in and kicked my ass till weekend.
And then the great downtown Duane Brown.
I'm ecstatic to be here.
I love it.
Just like this guy.
I can't even tell if you're lying.
He just
to me.
has a hard time covering. He's trying really hard to cover the excitement. Not me. 2026, year of the Pids. Some say year of the horse. Some say year of the Pids. We don't know. We're going to find out.
Fire horse, to be exact.
Oh, the year of the horse.
Yeah,
Not the year of Valar?
Year of the Belucifer.
Oh,
No, it's a fire horse.
Hell yes. Gosh, it just hit me, Duane. Have you ever considered legally changing your last name from Brown to Burgundy?
I haven't.
Yeah, what do you think? Give us, how many likes do we need for you to legally change your name on this show? 1,000?
Wow.
It's okay. Dealer's choice. Shoot for the stars.
I think 5,000 and I had the discussion. I had the discussion with my mom and my wife.
Yes, let's go.
That is like nothing.
For Rapids,
No, to change your name?
to start the discussion
on the YouTube
to discuss it with start bringing up discussions.
Okay, can we side negotiations with wife and mother though on our channels? Broadcast. We gotta get some cameras on this.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Are we just doing like the FIFA? Are we doing like the FIFA negotiation?
Downtown Duane Burgundy coming to you in 2026. I cannot wait. Let's do this. On a more serious note, these fine gentlemen here got an exclusive sit down with new head coach Matt Wells. Kind of the start of could it be an international revolution for the All-American Pids? But yeah, boys, I leave the floor to you as you got to sit down with Matt Wells, new young head coach for the Rapids, and kind of want to get your impressions from that talk and your kind of our first introduction to the new head coach. Obviously, you can see a lot of those interviews in their entirety on our socials as well.
Yeah, and then at the end of the show, we'll play it as well, so you guys can see it.
We'll play the full interview at the end of the show. It's about 15, 16 minutes.
Yeah, we'll let you guys get an idea, so you guys can
Yeah, it's a great first look into it, into Matt Wells. There were a lot of things that he said, but for sake of time, because we have so much to talk about.
Do we?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
So much.
Don't you dare.
One of the here are some standouts for me. I asked him, he's had some big names that he's coached under, some big names that he's mentored under. I asked him, hey, which one of these are you more, pulling from? Which experience? What can we expect to see stylistically, strategy-wise, formation-wise? And there was no hesitation. There was no kind of PR statement. It was straight. He pointed to himself and he said, I'm going to do my thing. And I thought that was awesome. Given it didn't answer our question as far as what people are wanting to see, as far as what's our formation? What's he going to run out? Are we, how are the Rapids going to look on the pitch under Matt Wells? It's going to look like whatever Matt Wells wants it to look like based on his experience so far. But what I liked about it is that it wasn't a canned response. A lot of times you talk to new coaches, and even though they've already got the job, the answers tend to be like job interview answers because they're still trying to win over, the fans and everything. And I loved the candor and I loved the confidence in his idea, his belief in his idea. He's put in the time, he's put in the work coming up from a very young age because of injuries directly into kind of more of the coaching side of things, to build out what he thinks is going to be a winning side and a winning run of play. And so there wasn't really any specifics answered there, but I think there was a big answer there in that this is a guy who's confident in what he's bringing. And maybe it's going to be something that we haven't seen before, which if you go back and look at, the last however many coaches, it's been a lot of the same. Even guys who have come in and say, well, no, we're not playing all defensive ball anymore. We're moving to an exciting offense or whatever. And then it kind of falls flat. Maybe this is going to be something different, which I really, really appreciated. All of the usual things. Matt Wells, very nice guy, very personable. Yahya and I talked to him for a bit before and after we got to, sit down on camera with him. Good dude, as is the Rapids way, they usually hire really good dudes. But I like that self-confidence. Stylistically, the only thing I can give you from our time with him is that he did bring up it's probably going to be more possession for the Rapids, which is something that we've not seen before.
He did say you can't control the game if you don't have the ball.
Yes.
Which I'm like,
Dang,
Port's not going to let you. I'll tell you right now. But I think one thing that Duane brought up a lot of good points, that when you hear him talk, he's very well spoken, and you can tell that he's a ball knower immediately from the start. You can ask him anything. His granddad, right, was a pretty famous Welsh player. He was around for a long time. Yeah. So he's been around football his whole life. He didn't want to coach really until injury kind of forced him into it. But he even told us as a player, he kind of was more into the tactics. He would go home and just grind film. And those are the kind of guys that you want, right? Those are the kind of guys that are always looking to innovate, find new ways of creating styles of play. That's the way you get the Luis Enriquez. That's the way you get the Peps. All this kind of coaching trees. It's because people are always trying to innovate. And I think that's the most exciting part about him, that he seems like he has an idea of how he wants things to go, but he also seems like he's a little open to figuring out what's going to work best for this team. Yep. And I think that's a good combo. And for Rapids fans saying, I'm ready to get crushed again, I get it. We've had really bad experiences our whole lives, except for one damn year. We're the Cleveland Browns of the MLS. We've said it before. And it's
the Cleveland Burgundies, maybe.
There we go.
We're changing everybody's name.
Well, we can be the Colorado Browns if he doesn't have to change his name.
There you go.
you switched names.
Did you
with the
mention that in the
Rapids.
survey about potential
So,
rebrands?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
come on, Duane.
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
So a ball knower who gets the sports over everything mantra. Matt Wells lives by it.
He really does. He lives football. He breathes football, and I think that's the most exciting thing about him. And I'm not saying that Robin or Armis did it, but they carried themselves a little bit different. They carried themselves as almost team guys, like people guys. He carried himself more as I'm here to tell you what to do and the way we're going to play football, which is a little bit of a different vibe you got.
Right. In other sports, there's always kind of the cliche of like when you're talking about the coaching carousel, so-and-so is a leader of men. And I think that was more the Chris Robin brand. Well, this guy's more of an innovative, like fresh perspective, a guy who's ready to kind of pursue all avenues and pursue all tactical things, try stuff that's new and isn't scared off by a new league and is really motivated by his first head coaching opportunity. Similar to me, I come back from Italy. I'm nice and refreshed. You know, I've got my Milan Olympics t-shirt on, my new Milan cap. And Yaya's more like Chris Armis, Robin Fraser, beat down from the work and no break and staying in Colorado and just,
That Colorado air gets you.
A sad guy.
Sad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Love that. We will talk through more Matt Wells thoughts. Then the Pids made a splash the cash once again with a big money signing from Europe, and yet that came down the pipeline, and we were all like, who? And then I, some way, somehow, will find a way in this pack show to squeeze in my MLS Super Draft thoughts. So we've got
Big Super Draft guy.
I mean, I put the super in Super Draft.
It's true.
Lots to get into. But first, shout out to our friends at Toyota. What a trucks, SUVs, they're part of that Toyota DNA. It's why I always say Toyota, the perfect car to get in, play hooky from work, kind of like we're doing on this pod, and just go west, young man. Go into our beautiful mountains with your Toyota. 4-wheel, all-wheel drive. They've got you covered on all options. And anyone here at DNVR who drives a Toyota swears by it. That's not lip service. That really is the truth. RK, Adam Mares, they've all got incredible stories about the reliability of their Toyotas. How great the customer care and service has been on their Toyotas, and they swear by it. And so if you, my dear friend, my dear Burgundy boy, want to get into a Burgundy Toyota today, you're in the market for a new Burgundy car, I urge you to visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. You've got AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, a proud partner of the Colorado Rapids.
I almost said the Colorado Browns.
Yeah, I really did. Toyota, let's go places. And shout out to Taco Bell, man. I was in Italy eating delicious food, and yet Tuesday came around and kind of salivating and craving some T-Bell. And I'm seeing these new offers coming down the pipe. Hell yeah.
It could be either.
I
Hell
say
yeah.
pipe.
There you go. I love
T-Bell lays down the pipe.
Turnpike is
it. Dang. Wow.
Okay. Well, there you go.
They've got these new cheesy dipping burritos that look crazy good. I cannot wait to get in on that. We were enjoying some nacho fries recently.
That's their best item by far. I know people love the crunch wrap and everything. The
those
nacho
were
fries.
Fire. And, you can get the little dipping burritos. You can get them with grilled marinated steak, savory, slow roasted chicken. They've got the melty cheese in there, flavorful sauce, all wrapped into a nice layer of melty cheese grilled on the outside. I'm craving that right now. And of course, they've got all these new offerings, especially their new crispy chicken. It delivers every time. We were seeing a Taco Bell commercial, and Lucia was like, she's such a picky eater. She's 7 right now. She's like, dang, they've got chicken nuggets? Do they have those all wrapped in a burrito? And I was like, yes, ma'am. That's exactly right. So, you got to go check out Taco Bell, man. Maybe you haven't in a minute. They've got lots of new offerings to get into. They've got all the Cantina Kitchen stuff. Get in on the fun. Taco Bell, live Mas at Taco Bell. Bang, bang. All right. Anything else to cover on the Matt Wells front, boys?
No, I really hope the best for him. I really hope that he can build a squad the way he wants to. We've seen him multiple years now, and they're bringing it up here in the comments as well. Like, hey, it's with Artemis, it was always press, and then come match
Game day.
game day was a lot different. And I think that's kind of the fear
Yes.
a lot of fans
Yes.
have. That coaches do a lot of lip service. They come in and they say, I want to play this way, but the roster's not always built for it to play that way. So I think I'm just hoping that he can really get his vision across and can get the whole front office behind him and actually give him the type of players that he needs to accomplish the goals of his style of play and reaching the playoffs and maybe being contenders one day.
Love it, man. Now, similar to Armis's first year, they've made some splashy signings. They spent a lot of money on Dante Seeley, who we talked about
3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
almost.
3 weeks ago. It's been a minute. Last year, you could say. And then since we last spoke, they signed defensive midfield. You like that one?
It's a knee slapper, baby.
The Nigerian defensive midfielder, 22-year-old Hamza Ojediran.
Sure.
I was for sure going to butcher that.
I'm just going to call him midfielder until he proves he deserves the name.
I apologize, but another $3 million signing, the kind of things that we were not used to in previous off seasons, and this is coming off the Paxton Aronson record signing. So, I mean, they have splashed the cash in ways we are simply not used to seeing out of the PIDs. And for that kind of transfer fee, young player, surprising. The first reaction would be like, first off, who is this guy?
Yep.
And secondly, why did they deem him to be this valuable to make this kind of what just a couple years ago would have been a record signing for the club? And also, I imagine Matt Wells is pretty involved in this and thinking he needs to play with a double pivot and that this was a key signing for him. Played a lot more in 24-25 than he did in 25-26 at Lens. Only had 1 goal. When he was a teenager, early 20s, was playing in Hungary, and that's where he got signed to Ligue 1. That's League One for the less French involved people like myself. I'm terrible with French. I can hardly speak English, as you've noticed. So yeah, guys, your reaction on this, and then I can give you a breakdown of Ligue 1 and Hungarian highlights that I've been consuming in the last several weeks.
I think I'm gonna stick with my same take as Seeley. That I hope it works out. I hope he does good, and it can come off really negative. And I get that. I might be the negative one today. I'm tired. I slept for hours. I'm sorry, guys.
That's how we do. We kind of rotate.
Yeah,
Someone's got to be
somebody got to be the asshole.
the
on this
negative
show.
Nancy. Yeah, that's true.
If you don't got a dick, then you if you don't got a Stephen A on the show, then what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh no!
Like,
Not Stephen A.
but this is my thing. It's an improving guy, which I get it. Like, you got to gamble on some of these guys sometimes. That's how you become good. That's how, like, a lot of teams are built off, like, unknown players and some money being thrown around. Union is a team that we keep looking back at and really has done it the right way for so long.
The Workers Union? Great. One of the greatest videos ever. I'm so sorry to derail you.
But that's, I think, this is my issue. Like, again, I keep bringing up other players that were on the market that keep getting moved around for less of a fee, more proven, that can get people in this seat.
Totally.
Christian Espinosa signed this morning. You could have done that instead of Seeley, right?
Yeah.
You could have gone Shuffleberg, which I think is a great player. I would have rather him than Sealy. I think he has a little bit more proven time in the Canadian national team. I think he's done really well in Nashville. I think that's a guy that you could have targeted and done really well in Colorado as well.
Jaden Nelson, one of my favorite young wingers in the entire MLS, goes to Austin FC for like $700K in GAM and then $500K in GAM the next year. So, I mean, half of what Hamza cost.
Exactly.
Luca De La Torre comes over from Celta Vigo, right? And I think he was a fraction, maybe a tenth of what it costs to bring Hamza in. So the numbers are really like, dang.
I'm going to keep with my theory that this is money laundering.
Oh, no. No.
But it's,
the show got canceled. Oh,
I still really think the Rapids could be good. I really hope they can. I do believe on the talent a lot. They have a lot of talent on the squad.
A lot of young talent.
But that's my issue. You can only develop so many guys. All of your Rapids 2 team is super draft picks that you're hoping to become somebody in the future. And some of them have proven to be good and might be able to make that leap. And then you go through your squad with younger guys. It's like there's only so much room to develop. You need leaders in this team. You got maybe 3 or 4 of them. And then you got a DP in Rafa who doesn't probably want to play with young players. He wants to go out and win. Yeah. And what are you going to do with him if things become unsettled? Are you going to sell him for less? Are you going to lose the profit off of him as well? You got to make sure that you're balancing the books while trying to stay young and trying to compete now in the future. And that's really hard, and I get that from Porig. But when you have guys, like, again, I'll bring it up, Cade Caldwell just went to a New York Red Bull. That's a guy you could have invested in. Yeah. That in the future could have gotten you a big investment. You could have gone Mateus Bogues out of Cruz Azul. That's another guy you could have that's making a return back to the MLS. Coco Corosquilla is not doing great in Pumas. That's a guy you could have invested in. It's a little bit older veteran, and he's a proven midfielder that was great for Houston so many years. Luca De La Torre, like we can keep naming them. And at some point, you're going to have to either cash in on these young guys or you're going to have to start bringing in veterans because you're not going to be able to win games. Young guys can only take you so far. This isn't Football Manager, this isn't FIFA, or you can pack your team with 18-year-olds and hope to win a chat and just win anything you want because it's a video game. There's an actual real life where real life emotions come into play, and not all these kids are ready for that bright spot or to be started in that responsibility. So you do need older guys on this team to kind of be that mentorship and bring them in and also show them how to play at a high level.
Yeah. Forget the transfer fee for a second. Forget that he didn't play so much this season. Duane, did the Pids really need another defensive mid? Because, man, if we were to rank all the positions of need, defensive mid might be second to last after goalie for me.
I don't think it's so much of do the Rapids need another defensive mid as much as do they need the right defensive mid. Our defensive mids are not working out. On the defensive side of the ball,
harsh.
Well, they're not.
No, I mean
the data shows it. I'm not being.
I mean, the second half of the season, like they were letting in goals, and it was Ollie and Atencio kind of seemed frustrated with their other midfield mates and their defensive mates. Like, come on, man, I was covering this. Where were you? And we let in a goal and a lot of those games that we recapped and were kind of pissed off about was like, dang, what happened there? How'd you let that one in?
When your center backs are not speedy, right? So the pressure becomes defensive mids to cover for that speed, right? They can be stalwart in the middle. Like if Rob Holding's going to be the stalwart guy in the middle, great. But Rob Holding's not the speediest guy in the world. So you're going to have a D-mid who can cover that speed if there is a break in transition or something.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know a lot about this guy. None of us really do. There's not a lot out there.
Unless you're a professional scout. Like, let's just be honest. You really don't know a ton about this guy.
But, I mean, what we've read is that he's good on winning the ball. He's very aggressive. If Matt Wells comes in and says, we can't own the game, and this is the kind of language he uses, we can't own the game unless we own the ball. And that is possession-based football, right? So if you have a D-mid who can win the ball and is very aggressive to push that ball back up into the midfield, then, and keep that ball on the other side of the pitch, keep it away from our net, then it doesn't, again, it gets back to, it's not about having another D mid. It's about having the right D mid for how Matt Wells wants to play. If that is possession-based football, which we are not used to in Colorado, then this guy might be the right guy, right?
Yeah.
Plus, like in the chats coming, you've got Lucas Harrington right behind him.
Yeah.
He does have some wheels.
Noah Cobb, still a Noah Cobb believer.
No, so you have some youth back there. But if all of this is based on pushing the ball back up and getting it away from the net, winning that ball from an aggressive standpoint, then it becomes possession-based ball from an offensive standpoint. Even on the defensive side, everything is keeping the ball from getting to the net, then it's the right signing. That means you have other D-mids on the squad that maybe aren't the right fits anymore for the Colorado Rapids. Again, it depends on what this squad's going to look like. Maybe this is a signing because they believe he's the guy who's going to be aggressive enough to keep the ball pushed forward and in possession.
The more I've thought about this, sticking to like the PID's roster implications of this signing, and then I want to get back to the transfer fee stuff, because you mentioning Hoffa does make me think like, yay, they're splashing the cash. And then it's like, is this actually being financed?
That money's coming
by
from
like
That ain't coming from Kroenke, I'm telling you that much.
out fee where they just drafted 3 first-rounders that are all strikers too, after drafting one in the top 5 last year and Alex Harris on top of that.
And transfer window should open here soon, right?
Yeah.
Internationally.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other
no, we're in
problem.
January, so
Should be happening already.
what does it mean for Ollie? My fucking guy. I loved Ollie. I think second half of the season, like a lot of the guys, maybe didn't play his best, but I think a year ago when the PIDs made a Leagues Cup run and were in the playoffs, Ollie played really well.
Yep.
And what does it mean for Cole? Because now, if you are playing that 4-2-3-1, and Matt rightfully told you, look, he's not tied into anything that his predecessors, he was an assistant under, was. What does this mean for Cole? Because, Cole's still the biggest question with Cole Bassett, and Cole Bassett's left foot is in the Toyota chat. Shout out to him or them. It is figuring out a position. What does he want to be when he's an adult? And this means fewer opportunities to be in that double pivot. And now, are you playing him on the wing? Are you playing him at the 10? Are you playing Pax on the wing then opposite Sealy, and those are your wingers, and Cole's more that like roaming 10? Less of a playmaker, but more of a roaming and finding spaces and inserting himself, making runs, what have you. Interesting for our 2 like homegrown midfielders in there who, again, as I've mentioned before, I think you do not have the luxury to punt on Cole Bassett. You have to some way, somehow get the return on this talent, who just a couple years ago was deemed high enough pedigree to go to Europe and was one of the rising stars in the MLS on the 1 seed in the West, So those are the big questions for me. Now, I wonder who was most intrigued by Hamzat's talent. Was it Matt Wells, who's coming from the championship and maybe was keeping an eye on a kid like this? Is it Porig, who's maybe been watching a talent like this ever since he broke out in the Hungarian league a couple years back and was like, because this is what the mid-table, even top-table European top 5 league guys, teams do is, oh, you're a teenager getting regular minutes and kind of a key starter already in your late teens, early 20s at one of these lower leagues like Hungary. That means you might have the upside to be worthy of signing because your upside is significant,
well,
right?
that's like around the world. They look at Argentina, Brazil, Mexico.
Totally,
like
man.
U.S., like how many guys do you not see? Alfonso Davies, like
Right.
that guy just started getting something. They're like, oh, you're out of here. Like that's the kind of guys they look for. Like they look for that young talent. But I do think this is more of a Porig move. I think it's too quick of a turnaround for Matt Wells to be like, I'm not saying Matt Wells wasn't aware of this, but like he just got hired and immediately you make the move. It's like, I feel for you to get really comfortable with the player, you kind of have to be part of the process for a while and be like, I'm willing to spend that much cash on that guy. I feel like Porig had him in his, he had him locked at. He's like, this is the guy we want. They hired Matt Wells and they're like, this is the guy we're looking at. What do you think? And I think he signed off on it at the end and said, I think I can work with him.
Yeah, for sure. Weird that he's had limited national team experience. I mean, only U17 caps back in 2019 when he played in the U17 World Cup. When I watched what I was able to find from the Hungarian league, there's some promise here. You know, he is a box-to-box athletic midfielder. I like what you said, you know, aggressive. He's going to go get the ball. He's not necessarily nice with it. He's not one of these deep line midfield. He's not a Jack Price or even an Atencio who's more like that deep line playmaker. That's not what I'd expect, though. I've seen some nice long passes and assists, but that's not what I'm expecting from him. I'm expecting work rate. I'm expecting him to just run his ass off, be box to box, kind of a super version of like an Ollie Larraz.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't you kind of have that already on Cole? Don't you already have a workhorse? Don't you already have a guy that runs the most out of any player in the MLS for like 3 years in a row?
But like Cole's problem is coming back and tracking back defensively.
But like he does.
Cole has that work rate, but it's more up front than it is covering back, right?
He's not a guy who's going to challenge.
That's fair.
Deep, you know.
Like,
so is he kind of there to bring balance to that midfield where with Ronan and Cole and Paxton, maybe you went a little too offensive and you need this guy to kind of balance you back, you know?
But and you're right, like, but even you're talking, he's more of a defensive mid, like a true defensive mid. But like that's not a possession guy.
Yep.
That's a defensive.
Yes,
that's
sir.
a guy
Yes,
there.
sir.
And if you're trying to play defensively, like, are you just gonna deploy him as a guy that's back there, like basically your third center back, and then your wing backs are deployed out in the wings all the way up? Like, what happens there? Like, it feels very unbalanced. And again, I don't know the way they're gonna deploy him or what they see in him.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you have a guy back there that's playing that defensive mid role, you need a little bit more of a pinger too. You need a guy like Jack Price who can distribute, who can get the ball because that's going to be your main guy controlling the ball from the back and how you play. Now, I'm not saying he can't do it. He does have a couple of that skill set, but it's going to be interesting how they do deploy him when you already have a guy like that, unless they want to maybe they put Atencio as another center back. And you have Atencio was already getting word about maybe playing center back out in Seattle before he came to Colorado, and they put him back in the midfield. Maybe you put him back there, and that can be your middle guy, and then they kind of alternate, and he can be kind of your distributor. And I think that's going to be the really hard part, that it's like now you have a role for this guy, but can this guy do the whole thing when you're playing out of the back?
Yeah.
Which is what they want. When you're a possession-based team, you don't kick the ball across the field and be like, run. You have to play out of the back. You're trying to find spaces. You're trying to run back and forth. And now every guy that comes, I'm not saying every guy that comes to Colorado has to be a big name. It doesn't. Like that's
but
not
for $3 million.
Yeah, but for $3 million, it's a little bit different. And you never know, man. We didn't know who Jack Price was when he got here.
Yeah.
We didn't know who Danny Wilson was till we got here.
Yep.
Like Rafa was like second division in
Totally,
Brazil,
man. Totally.
and then he became a dude. Like it works out sometimes. I'm not saying it won't, and I'm hoping it does. It's really hard sometimes to see the vision, and especially when there's very limited stats or highlights or even like actual tracking of how he's been the last couple of years.
Last couple notes I have on him. You mentioned aggressive. Not a ton of no red cards the last 3 seasons, from what I can tell. Even in Hungary, where he was playing, you know, a lot more minutes.
hungrier.
Yeah, and in his first season in Ligue 1 with Lens, averaged a yellow card every 80 minutes. So that's a little more. Only 3 yellow cards in a full season in Hungary with 24 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists. So while he is aggressive, he seems to avoid fouling a bunch. So maybe Wayne Frederick can learn some things from that.
Or he'll learn from Wayne Frederick.
The butcher, as I call him. And yeah, it's an unknown commodity that you really splash the cash on. So we shall see. Also, final note, seemed to have bulked up quite a bit. When I watched him in Hungary, he seemed way skinnier than when I watched him at Lens. Like, he put on a lot of weight, broader shoulders. So it's going to be interesting, man. The type might be a nice fit in the MLS style, but it's an unknown commodity for $3 million. And it's also not necessarily a premium position, you know.
Not a position of like complete need. I would have, and it's also like now I think you have, in my opinion, I think now you put Cole and Atencio in a spot where they don't have a position. Like Cole has already been a utility player with no direction. Mm-hmm. Like he's not great at anything, but he does everything. And Atencio's kind of been the same way. Like the things he's great at, this guy kind of takes away from him.
I think that's the lack. I mean, you mentioned it all last season. There's a lack of identity for the Rapids. This is another new coach. Maybe that identity becomes more solidified now. So positions like defensive mid, whether we have a true six or is it a double pivot, it's just been so fluid that one of the reasons, getting back to the concern of this squad does not have an identity, maybe we start to see more of a lockdown. This is what Rapids football is like now.
And they still believe in Wayne. And then
those roles start to solidify. You know, it's like, okay, Josh, you're not the D mid guy. Like, you know, that's going to be, you know, Hamza in it. And now, Josh, you're going to move up, you know, or back even, you know.
And they still have Wayne Frederick, who they believe in, because they keep giving him minutes. And they also have Ali Fidal, who they spent like $500K in last year. And it's like, all right, like you're just stocking up in this position. Now, what do you do with any of this guys? Like,
for sure. Well, this caps off a pretty active offseason. And as I was mentioning, last couple years, we've seen them go all in on American guys, an American coach with MLS experience, and American players, you know, whether it's the bigger signings or the lower level signings like Cudi Pietro, Josh Atencio. That was the model. Now we're going back to kind of international guys who've had international experience with an international coach. And I mean, the big signings are Hamza, Dante Sealy, who the more I've sat on it, the more I'm excited about Dante. Forget the transfer fee. This is a guy who bagged 9 goals last year, playing off the wing, who scores some amazing goals, has a beautiful left foot. Really excited about Dante, even though, again, Jaden Nelson to me may be as good or as exciting, but Jaden's more of an assist guy, less of a goals guy. So you've got a winger who can score goals and maybe can even be a second striker for you. How they use Dante is going to be fascinating to see. And then you've also got Lucas Harrington, the Aussie kid who's coming to the MLS for the first time after being on loan. You've got Bryce Jamison, kid from the USL, right? Who's coming. He's an exciting winger. And then in the MLS Super Draft, you go back to back international strikers. One is your R2 player.
One is a known commodity.
Mamadou Bello Diop. Young, known commodity. Great that they keep the Senegalese talent in the building, and now no one can mess with them and try to steal him from him.
I bet they try something again at some point.
I think it's going to be harder now that you own his draft rights at least. Then you go with an Aussie striker, Mitchell Baker, who bagged a bunch of goals last year as just a sophomore in Georgetown. He came over to Lake Placid to play his last 2 years of high school and then was an All-American high schooler, and in just 2 years became a pretty big name in college soccer. And then you go after Wabu Musa, the third of 4 Clemson players to be drafted in the first round, and kind of the one with less fanfare. They draft him right in front of a teammate. I have it right here, Ransford Guion, who's a more stocky, versatile sophomore striker, also Ghanaian. And Musa instead is this long-limbed striker, can maybe play on the wing, loves taking guys on, loves dribbling and attacking defenders, has some goal scoring prowess. So the theme is international guys coming from maybe less conventional soccer places where there might be some, they're kind of a
hidden
gems. Thank you. And again, that's the Moise Bombito model, right? They're sophomores, something that just a couple of years you couldn't draft sophomores. And so you're going all in on the upside, and you've got this nice place in R2 to develop these kids. And I'm excited by all three and intrigued by the fact that they went international and sophomore with all three of these guys and strikers.
Expect them all to come into Rapids too. Porrig has told us that he doesn't want any players staying in college now that that's a rule that kind of like NHL style where you can get the rights and keep them. Expect all these guys in Rapids too. If not, they're going to be traded away. They're going to be put in another place. My question is, what happens to KSB, man?
I know.
Like, that's still my guy. Like, that's still a guy that whenever he went on the field, he produced for any team that he was with since he's been with the Rapids.
Another sophomore came out of college, maybe a little... You were gambling on potential with him as well.
But he's like Generation Adidas top 5 pick. A guy that was highly scouted as the best player in that draft. And he just happened to fall because not every player. But even when he has played for Rapids and Rapids too, he has produced constantly. And he's still not getting any minutes. I just don't get it. It's fine. I'm pissed. It's Monday morning.
Well,
it's okay.
And you've got Bryce coming up. And another young winger. You've got, I'm still a big fan of Sidney Watua, what you saw from the young kid out of Vermont. So I kind of expected them to go with wing, and you had some wing options, including, the other Clemson kid, including, I had it right here, David Raphael, who was a top-rated winger in this draft out of San Francisco. He's a Haitian kid who didn't get drafted at all in the top 90 picks. I was surprised to see them not touch the wing at all. And I think they're kind of like Dante Seeley, these other young guys I just mentioned.
The guy that you went to go buy last summer. It's like...
Right. Wanyama's in the mix. Where will Paxton play? Where will Cole play? And that's kind of what you got on the wing, We've been pounding the table, DP winger, and they're saying, no. Young winger.
Alex Harris still that plays out in the wing too.
Yeah, winger, striker. What can you do with him?
The ghost of Sam Bassett might still be out there here and there.
Yeah, Yapi's your other striker if you do sell Hafa. So you're going all in on the guys in the attacking third. It's all young dudes. And Paxton, Dante have a little more pedigree, a little more proven ability at this level. Cole too. The other guys outside of Hafa, who's the one veteran in the group, are unknowns.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Transfer window for the MLS doesn't open until the 28th. So it's open internationally, but there's still plenty of time for moves to be made.
For sure. I'm excited though, man. They kind of got me back.
You're very easily
Dre's
bought.
back.
All it takes is young guys. Because I do love playing Football Manager.
Clip that.
I did. Whoa! I did like, the other KSE owned property and how Arsene Wenger in the old days when they were struggling financially was keeping things afloat by just going young guys.
But that wasn't owned by the Cronkies.
It was not.
The Cronkies have the money.
Part owners by that time.
They were like very minority owners.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, and it's all young dudes, all young guys that you've got coming in. And what do you do with the defense? Are we enough of Noah Cobb, Rafael Santos, Ian Murphy still with us?
Ian Murphy. Santos is the one that they're trying to resign, right? They're trying.
Get it done.
His Instagram looks like he's gone.
Get it done. And then what happens?
That would be the worst moment of the offseason, in my opinion.
Ooh.
To lose Santos.
Gun to your head, which Rafa would you be more comfortable losing? Navajo or Santos?
Navajo.
Duane is hesitating. You're such a Santos guy. I love it,
I'm more
man.
comfortable losing Rafa, like Navajo.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him leaving.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all agreed on that. You can't. We have left back problems. We've got some serious ass left back problems.
For the first time
and like Santos is that guy. Like he was the one showing flashes of this is the future of the left back for the Rapids. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to work as a GM in pro sports, much less soccer, MLS. But the eye test for me. I mean, you got all these unproven talents. This was a young guy that was showing flashes of excitement. Fans were all in on him. The guys up in the press box, we were all in on him. Teammates seem to be in on him. This guy looks good.
Also losing him for nothing kind of sucks. And with Navajo, and at least you know you're gonna get money back.
Mm-hmm.
And like you, for the first time since Connor Casey, like you have depth at the forward position.
Yeah.
And you have no depth in the wing, in the left back, in the wing
Totally.
back positions.
Totally. And I mean, center back, you've got Holding, you've got the two young guys in Harrington and Cobb. You've got Ian Murphy who can play both as was he playing right back or left back? I can't remember. I want to say left back.
I think he was. I think he would alternate. I think he kind of.
But is
got
a
Josh,
center
too,
back
as
by trade.
If there's a
and
injury,
you've got Josh, exactly.
You got Josh who can jump in.
So center back, you've got some options. Maybe none of them proven at the MLS level, but there's a combo of Holding, who's got some pedigree and has played in bigger spots, and some young guys who are promising. The outside backs, the wingers.
Both sides.
What I was harping on all of last year is you've got no width on this team is once again like, where are we going to find the width? So that's interesting. But back to Rafa Navajo in Tommy Bogart's piece before the break on The Athletic, kind of rounding up expectations, what's happening in the MLS window, all of that, in the part where he's talking about which important players could be on their way out of the MLS. He does mention Rafa Navajo, simply saying that Navajo is someone else to watch. The club rejected bids north of $7 million from Fluminense in the summer. As expected was Flu and other Brazilian clubs could be back this winter. I think we're all kind of feeling like there's a chance he's out.
I think he might want out too.
He's a goal scorer and nobody gets the ball to him. I mean, wouldn't you want to be out?
You do have Dante Sealy and Paxson.
Right. I'm just saying based on what he's dealt with so far. You know,
based on history, he was the best service.
Yeah, it's just hard to. I mean, yeah,
came in as an unknown and has been able to get himself to where he is getting those kinds of offers. Like I do think it's been a good choice.
But
the
message
career.
from the club has been get the ball to Rafa.
Yeah.
That didn't happen when you let Georgie go, which was the one guy getting him the ball. Largely.
Yeah,
his success and those offers coming in are on the team up of Georgie and Rafa. So when you get rid of Georgie, or Georgie wants to get rid of himself, then you've got a serious issue with him being able to score goals because the ball's not getting to his feet. So yes, there's Sealy and there's other guys, but that was also the message of last season. We're good with what we got. We're going to keep building on that. And it didn't build, especially in the wings. So I could see, look, man, like if my job is to score goals, but I'm not getting the ball, I'm going to be pretty frustrated at that. And if I can go do that somewhere else.
He kind of proved himself at a high league at this point too.
Sure.
Yeah. Division II, Brazil, scored 20 goals, comes to the MLS. It's pretty close to like 15 in back-to-back years, and that's with like losing your running mate up top, and you're still like an elite player in the MLS. which I think he was a top 10 striker in the league last year and the year before that. It's kind of like sometimes you just outgrow your position, especially when you feel like there's no commitment sometimes around you, or you lose a guy that you feel really comfortable with. Happens in sports all the time, but I think it benefits the club and it can benefit him for the first time in a long time. Like he could go to a bigger club, another league, go back home, and the club can make some pretty penny off him and be back to kind of where they were and try to spend that money somewhere else.
I mean, given the choice, I would rather the Rapids bring in legit wingers to have Hoffa like go on a tear. I mean, that's the goal for me. I'd rather him stay and they build around him up front, but it doesn't seem like that is the Rapids' plan.
Yeah.
So at that point, you just kind of, if we're not going to build around him and use what we have, then I guess we build something else, and let him go be great somewhere else, and then we all feel bad about it.
It would signify a lot about their willingness to really compete in the West if they sold Hoffa. I mean, he's still just 25, 27 goals in the last 2 seasons. And yeah, you've got Yappy, super young, bagged 8 goals last year. You added Dante, super young, bagged 9 goals in the league last year. So you do have some goal scoring proven ability, but this would be an interesting one.
It's also like Yappy, if he does become that guy, how long is he going to be in the MLS? You're back to square one at that.
Yeah,
it's like Yappy will last a season if he's that, half a season if he's that guy. And then you're back to square one, and then you develop ALLCITY again, and then you're back to square one, and then you just keep rotating, and you're never competing. You're just making money, and money laundering comes back to the front of my mind, and I'm like, it happens.
I mean, it's why you got to cash in on these guys and then keep making more splashes. And it's why you draft 4 strikers in the first round the last 2 years, Let's get into some Star Spangled banter real quick, because I know you guys have some jersey thoughts here. We've got a leak, not official, yes?
It's a leak, from footyheadlines.com.
I feel like this is
not
fake,
from us.
Shout out to them, of the World Cup jerseys here. What are your thoughts, fellas? You're the design crew.
So this is a rare moment for me.
Drum roll, please.
He likes it.
These are good.
Oh,
the garbage that Nike has rolled out for the past many years for USA.
Indeed.
Just a white shirt with Stay Puft Marshmallow Man collar. It's been just speaking from a kit-wise standpoint, as I can say professional sports uniform designer in
Facts, yes.
both MLB and MILB. I've designed for pro baseball. Those kits suck. And when you roll out the US men's and women's team in these crappy white shirts with nothing that says USA, nothing that it just doesn't say anything, and then you see other countries who are crushing it. Mexico always does something cool and creative and rooted in culture, and we have nothing in our kits usually. This I've said this in previous, as we've talked about the kits over the last years. Everyone loves the Waldos. It's you don't have to do the Waldos every year, but you got red stripes on a white background. Do a different integration of that each time, and that always should be your home kit. Some play on the stripes. They did that with this one. If these are in fact the real ones, I think it's a great look. It's unique. When you look at that, it looks like USA, even from far away. If you didn't have the badge on there, it feels like a USA kit. The away one, I think, is fine. If you were able to look at it closer, there are some faded out stars in there. So where you don't have the stars on the home kit on the away, there's some stars that are kind of sublimated in there, which I think is a nice sort of subtle approach to that without being too in your face. It also gets the dark navy in. I like that they went with the dark navy on the collar and the cuffs on that home. It's good. For those that always yell at me every time we look at a new USA kit, Dwayne never likes anything because they suck every time. And if this is it, I think they finally did a nice job for when we're hopefully hosting it here in the United States.
It's fine.
For World Cup.
They're fine. They're. I think those are ugly uniforms. I think the U.S. just has ugly uniforms in general for the most part.
I mean, they're not the best in the World
No,
Cup.
they're not
But
even-
comparing them to the last
That's
3-4 years,
fine. Like they're like. I'm
they're
not saying
so
they're
much
bad.
better.
I'm just saying like they're fine. I feel like if you rank out of all the teams, they're like gonna rank like
They'll be
15,
mid-table.
17.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna be like up there. Like I think it's better whatever you get every year. Last World Cup, but to me the U.S. just doesn't have a lot of. The Nike team doesn't have a lot of creative things to do with the U.S. And I don't know why, because the U.S. has a lot of things that you could do with it. And I feel like every year they just go super simple. And like I like the stars, I like all that kind of stuff, but I just feel like they could do a lot more. And I feel like they could make it a lot cooler. I would have wished they went with the denim the way that Mexico went back.
I hate those.
Well, like this is the thing, you don't have to go full denim, but like get like an inspiration from the denim, just like Mexico did with their new kit. They went back to when they hosted the cup. I think that kind of full circle thing is always so important for this big event when you're back in the forefront of it. And I think that would have been cool to get some inspiration with it. Not full denim, but like something from that.
I mean, they did that with the last one, though. They did the denim look.
They did it just blue.
This is the meme with all the swords pointed at what's your take? Those denim kits suck.
Well, they're not good.
I hated
but they're
them then.
iconic.
I hate them now. They're ugly.
But they're iconic. These are just as ugly in my opinion.
They
No
are
way.
iconic. That's true.
They're iconic, but they're ugly.
They also fit a different era of US.
Yeah. The 90s were a
USMNT.
terrible time for design, and those kids show it.
Well, and you were like the upsets, like we don't know what soccer is. We're wearing jeans on our shirts, like
but
it
that's
was.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
If
It
we're
was
being
kind of
honest-
leaning
But it's
into the
funny
bit.
in a point at you and laugh kind of way.
No, but if we're being honest, like
That's
if
what
you-
I'm saying. They're not good.
If we're being honest, if we want something that represents this U.S. team, it's prep school uniforms. Like literally make it look like you're wearing a prep uniform. Because
Well,
that's
that's
what this
been
team
the
is.
last three.
No,
that we've
I'm not
had.
talking about. So I'm like literally like a shirt tuxedo. Like that's how you go out if you want to represent this U.S. team.
You'll see that from Ralph Lauren for the Olympics coming up next month. That's what they always look at.
And-
USA always looks like the 80s ski movie villain.
And
Like
honestly,
just preppy, rich guy
This
you want to punch.
USMNT team kind of
It's
represents
Ralph
that
Lauren.
low key.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
I have no design thoughts.
do we want to play the video next time
I
we're
think
around?
the away one's really ugly. We should play the video next time. I'm excited about how some of these guys are looking. Weston McKennie bagging goals recently. Brendan Aronson scores a big goal for Leeds to get Amorim fired at Man U. Pulisic's been on an absolute tear. A-Rob coming back from injury.
Weston
going
McKennie future
crazy.
rapid now that he's out of
I
contract. and
saw
already
that
signed
too. I was like,
Do it, brother. Do it.
bring him.
We all
Haji
know that.
Wright, Ricardo Pepi getting insane evaluations from their clubs to go to the Prem. So maybe, just maybe, the boys are peaking at the right time. Dress them however you want. I'm excited about it all.
Yeah.
I did. So yeah, that's
That was
gonna
both
do
Ar-
it.
like-
Arcade's
that was
gotta
both
get
like
his guy
that
in.
was both like a nod at Arcade and a kind of like a side swipe at Mitch when you mentioned Brendan Anderson.
Yeah,
It was
I
like
mean,
a little bit of
It
a.
was my text convo with Mitch is what brought all these thoughts up. Actually, I literally just compiled my notes off the recent text with Mitch. Shout out to our guy. That's gonna do it. We'll post that interview
on audio here today, but you'll get to see the full people that only watch on YouTube. Next time we're live, we'll play it for you guys.
Bang bang. Until then, what do we say in these cases, Dwayner?
Up the pids, baby.
We all silly like the mayor.